Namaskar. I'm going to share with you top 10 tips on how to overcome depression and overthinking. So, what are we going to listen in this podcast? Number 1, breaking the myths about depression. The link between overthinking and depression, and details about which are the top 10 tips to overcome depression and overthinking, and that too without medicine. So friends, there is too much information on the net, and that is why we make unnecessary assumptions and doubts. Well, on the one hand, science is in the process of breaking superstitions. And on the other hand, the same science is installing superstitions. Now let me tell you how. See, the first myth is that depression is a disease. The second myth is that depression cannot be overcome without medicine. The third myth is that medicine is the only cure for depression. So my friends, I am going to tell you and listen to this podcast carefully that all these myths are really disturbing you more than the depression. So basically, depression is a condition and not an illness like diabetes or cancer. So when you don't know this powerful truth, you get into the mode of overthinking. This is a very common aspect in depression. Human mind enters into overthinking mostly after some kind of life experiences which are difficult to bear at times. We are not able to accept certain situations and circumstances that happen, and we do not welcome change. Now, these vague situations of life activate thoughts and emotions which are stored in memory. And so, this is how the game of overthinking starts in your memory. Next, imagination is induced in these experiences which develop assumptions. Now, I'll give you one very interesting example of my neighbor. There was a 16-year-old girl who developed a small pimple on the forehead. Now she was so worried that she started applying so many types of lotions and different treatments, and the pimple became a big boil and it started growing. And because of that, she started imagining horrible things like what will happen. My skin will go black, I will look ugly, I will not have any friends, I will not be able to get married, etc. All these assumptions put her into a depressive mode. And see, now you can understand that these chain of assumptions is expanded permanently, and you move round and round in the same thoughts and get fixed in the overthinking mode. Overthinking can lead to depression, and it becomes a vicious cycle. Let me tell you, and please listen to me carefully, that no medicine or techniques can help break this cycle. You only need to train your mind. And we have developed certain specific tools and practices which you can learn to stop overthinking. Now let me go to our topic for today's podcast, and let me share top 10 tips. Number 1 tip is change your beliefs. Now this is very powerful. Change your personal belief about yourself that you are not strong. And second, believe that depression can be cured, and that too by a self-help method. Yes, no one has ever told you that, and this world the system that is going around makes you dependent on outside sources and makes you feel weak. So get out of that. Second, do not get influenced. Some are influenced by other people and their negative thoughts. So be careful which people you mingle with. Who are these people who influence your thoughts? And also, there are so many people giving you advices about different therapies and practices. Everyone has some or the other solution, and you get confused which is the best. So, I would advise you, be careful, do not get influenced. Now, the third tip is learn to stop overthinking. Overthinking is the biggest hook for depression. This mode of overthinking brings sadness, raises problems instead of finding solutions to life problems. All these negative thoughts are fueled by negative emotions. We have a very effective way of training your mind to go into learning mode. Now you will find it a little bit funny what I'm speaking about learning mode. Well, I have helped thousands of patients to come out of overthinking, and the best way is to pick up a hobby or some creative activities. In this way, your brain goes into a very nice zone where it thinks about creativity, and automatically those overthinking thoughts that go round and round will stop. Tip number 4. Take a firm decision. Most people are stuck in yes, no, maybe zone. Now this indecisiveness prolongs depression. Sometimes they do arrive at a decision but soon change it, can't stick to that decision. Tip number 5. Use your willpower. How can this be done? Well, shift from wishing to willing zone. This is a very powerful tip. So many people just keep on wishing, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to go for exercise, I want to do dieting, I want to study, I want to start up a business, but they are not able to do it. If you are in a wishful thinking zone, then you will not be able to manifest anything in life. Tip number 6. Reset your life goal. Now this is very important because I have seen many people completely coming out of depression by creating short-term achievable goals. My patients did that and they regained their self-confidence. After getting success, they were motivated to create long-term goals. So do not worry about failure. First, overcome depression and you will be able to achieve all that you want in life. Tip number 7. Enable your trust. Develop trust at 2 levels. First, self, and then second, self-treatment. Now, when you believe in yourself, you will be able to believe in the process of coming out of depression by your own self. I'm sure once you have a strong will, you will experience a 360-degree change in healing. Tip number 8. Take depression test. I suggest my patients to take this test. Now, many people get information from various sources and they assume that they are in depression or they are not in depression, and what is all this going on. So this is a free online depression test which I have developed with my team and it is available online. Tip number 9. start self-help depression treatment. Now, the first stage of depression is mild depression. You can be out in 30 to 45 days. If you do not help yourself at this stage, then the second stage comes, which is moderate depression. If you prolong your treatment for more than 4 to 5 weeks. After that, the third stage comes where you ignore your symptoms for more than 5 weeks, then severe depression sets in. Now, at this stage, you can help yourself only by taking certain medicines. There are people who were taking medicines and still followed our treatment and were able to reduce their medicines. So do not worry if you have already started taking medicines. Besides, we have more than 60 video resources and audio resources. We will give all support once you start treatment. If your depression is more than 1 year, use web app for 90 to 120 days. Now, the last tip is the most important. Listen to this podcast carefully at this stage. You can leverage sponsorship. Due to economic conditions, myself and my team have come up with additional 50% discount sponsorship for 45 days depression treatment web app. So, it will only cost you Rupees 25 per day. Start today. Do not delay and overcome your depression and overthinking very fast. I assure you my support, and you can be in touch with me. I am with you in this journey. I pray for your well-being.